Hello everybody, welcome back to the Stacey preview show. My name is Jake. As always, we're back for another Sky Bet League One preview as Burton Albion come to town. That means I am joined by Ed from the D3, D4 podcast. I spoke to him earlier this week and here is what he had to say. Right, so it's Burton on Saturday, which means only one person could possibly be joining me for a preview. Ed Walker, I've not seen you in ages.
What was it? Boxing Day?
Yeah.
Quite a big turnaround, isn't it? Really, I suppose. And yeah, it's nice to have a good feeling in the previous game with Lincoln. I can't say the same about the previous games to Burton, but yeah, certainly a nice Lincoln game with nice memories.
Yeah, just so those that aren't aware, me and Ed have just sat down for an hour and recorded another podcast. So we've literally been in each other's pockets for like the last maybe an hour and a half.
Can't get rid of each other. Can't get rid of each other.
So if Ed makes this really quick and you realise the preview is only 5 minutes, and you'll realise that Ed wants to get off and watch United. So completely that's fine. But right then, there's only one place to start, Ed, and that would be the 3-0 win for Burton on Boxing Day. Obviously, there's not much point about talking about your season because we know about it, but probably our worst performance of the season, probably one of your better performances. I won't say it's your best because I don't know, but talk to me about that game from a Burton point of view, because from Lincoln I've tried to erase it out my head.
The way I basically understand it was just a dominant first half where everything just went perfectly. That early goal from Hughes, the cracker from Johnny Smith, he had a major penalty and just out of sight. And then the job was just done. I wasn't at the game, but to my understanding, everything just went perfectly to plan on the day. And I think they did a great work isolating someone like Jack Diamond as well, who, of course, has been such a key player to you too.
Yeah, absolutely. It would appear, obviously, I was, unfortunately, in that away terrace. It just seemed that you were able to bully us a little bit. Has that been the case with Burton this year? They've been able to sort of use their physicality against the smaller teams to win?
It's generally been the way they have tried to play, yeah. I think when we're at our best, we're a very physical side, make great use of the set piece. We have Tom Amos throw, the deliveries of Terry Taylor. Sam Hughes is normally the target, as you found out to your own detriment in the last two meetings we've had with you. I mean, you'll be pleased to know as Lincoln fans that Sam Hughes is currently injured at the moment. I highly, highly doubt he's going to make a miraculous return on Saturday. So that'll be good news here as well. And it's us at our best. We're a very physical, aggressive side. I don't care about the aesthetics. I just care as long as they get the points. And when we're at our best with our set-piece threat, it's nice to have. It's good having a set-piece threat, but the worry as well is that we find sometimes we're relying on that. There's a bit of a worry sometimes that sometimes we need that corner to be swung in right. We need that throw to cause damage. Otherwise, nothing's coming to open play. It's just a bit of a concern at the minute.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously we are in the window. We spoke about what you might want in the window back on Boxing Day, but we're halfway through. You've signed a couple of players. One, in fact, maybe an hour ago before we recorded. And most importantly, you've kept your star striker at the moment, Adebayo, who completely wound the Lincoln fans up with his celebration with his penalty. But you know what? That's fine.
That felt a bit. I've got to be honest. That felt a bit necessary to me. Like that's rubbing it in.
Yeah, well,
at 3-0. At 3-0.
Yeah, do you know, it felt like I was being stabbed with a butter knife.
Has he got previous with you or something? Because it felt like he had that.
No. I just think he was just being a cock. But anyway, that's that's fine.
Well, he's not scored since, so maybe that's backfired on him.
Obviously, there's been a lot of rumours of him. He was linked with Wigan quite heavily. Yeah. He's been linked with a few moves to the Championship with various clubs. How would you assess the window? Because you brought in a couple of good players as well.
I think it's probably been okay. I don't know whether I maybe delve around the sort of 5-6 out of 10 mark at the moment because of what we kept. Adebayo was the one we definitely want to keep. I'm getting more and more confident now because I thought he would be gone by now. However, the last two windows, we've lost our main goal scorer on deadline day. So I'm not getting ahead of myself. If the rumours start spiraling around on the 31st, I'm going to lose my mind because it probably means he's off. We lost Jefferson this time last year on deadline day. Gaston Admir was our top scorer. Went to Ipswich on deadline day in the summer as well. So we're a bit hesitant around that. But he's someone we have to keep. And then some of the other players as well. Sam Hughes will stay now because he's not fit. So I think that basically rules out the chance of him going anywhere. And then the other one probably is Terry Taylor, our deep midfielder, who everything seems to be quiet on the front at the moment, which is good. So it stays that way.
I think the signing that actually impressed me, Ed, and one that I definitely thought you need to make was McGillivray coming into the building. Look, is it Garrett, the goalkeeper? I don't think he's a bad keeper, but I think McGillivray is a level that we saw him a couple of weeks after we came to the Pirelli at Charlton. I thought he was actually really impressive.
Yeah.
So looks like a really good signing as well. Obviously, he's got loads of experience at this level. Obviously, we're talking about how hunky-dory it was for you to beat Lincoln on Boxing Day, but since then, yeah, your face has dropped because you know what's coming. It's not been great, has it?
I'm still in 2022, by the way. I haven't got to the new year yet. Still waiting to arrive.
So talk to me about that, because obviously you lost 5-0 to Morecambe. You lost 4-0 to Shrewsbury. I'm pretty sure you even lost to our neighbours in the Cup as well, which we will not forgive you for. So what's gone wrong, Ed?
Good question. I'm still trying to work it out, to be honest. We followed up that Lincoln win away at Forest Green, picked up a 2-1 win. It was a real slugfest. Could have gone either way. Ben Garrett saved a penalty at 1-0. We got a second goal and they scored in the 93rd and couldn't grab an equaliser. So it was one of those wins that you're absolutely relieved to get, and you really milk the most of it because you're on that terrace on the side of the pitch and you get to celebrate with the players afterwards, which was great. And at that point, we were outside the bottom four on goals scored. That was the difference. Accrington were in there by having scored less goals. We had the same goal difference as them. But you look at that and think, right, Morecambe next, Lincoln to come, Shrewsbury to come. Let's get clear. And New Year's Day was a disaster of biblical proportions. It was really strange. From my understanding, I wasn't there. I never wanted to go. I didn't go because I kind of had this deep down thing that they might win. I didn't think they'd win 5-0, but from my understanding, it was the worst example of playing a high line that football's probably ever seen, and it was persisted with even when it clearly wasn't working. So Burton's high line would be right on the halfway line. Morecambe would play simple balls over the top, in behind. Ben Garrett would come out of goal, and Ben Garrett out of goal is not a good goalkeeper out of goal at all. He had got caught with a real disaster class from him as well. And Morecambe went and ran absolutely ragged on the day, picked up what I think was their second win in a row. Or was it the third win in a row? I think it was their second win in a row. They're now out the bottom floor, of course, and got clear as well. So it's been pivotal for them. And I think it's part of the reason maybe my McGillivray's come in. I would add, by the way, on the McGillivray thing, yes, I'm very happy about the signing. But the lad who's been playing ahead of him for the last two games is a young lad called Jordan Amisa, who's coming on loan from Sheffield United. I don't know why McGillivray didn't start against Shrewsbury on Saturday. I'm not quite sure what the reason for that is. I would hope he hasn't come from the Charlton bench to the Burton bench. That's not a good decision at all. So I would hope to see him in the team on Saturday over Amisa, but maybe Dean's preferring Amisa at the minute, and that might raise a few eyebrows to some people.
Oh, and what about the fifth goal then away at Morecambe? That was.
Well, it was offside. The video that went round and went viral showed it to be about 10 yards. It turns out, if you see from the actual angle, it was only 1 or 2. It was off, but it wasn't anywhere near as bad as it looks at the time. So I can kind of forgive it. And to be honest, it didn't change anything. What difference does a fifth goal and a 5-0 make?
And what about Shrewsbury then?
Shrewsbury was the same. That was the worry because
4-0.
The Morecambe game's a nightmare one, but you kind of look at it and think, maybe it's just an off day. They do happen. You do get thrashed sometimes in a season. It can happen. They go into the Grimsby game. That was bitterly disappointing as well. A fairly competitive first half, but a single shot on target over 90 minutes, beaten by a deflection from Harry Clifton. And Grimsby go through at your expense, and we're still waiting to win a third round game again after more than a decade since our last win in that stage of the competition. And then into Shrewsbury, and it was just a repeat of the Morecambe game, but the difference is this goal came 18 seconds in from our own kickoff. We kick off, lose possession, they hit the ball over the top. Misa comes out of goal, like Garrett doesn't do anything with it, and Christian Sadie rolls the ball into the empty net, and from there they just cruised. And Shrewsbury, prior to that, had lost 3 league games in a row. I think that was their biggest win of the entire season so far. It was very out of place, and now we're looking at it saying maybe that Morecambe game wasn't a fluke. Maybe we actually are this bad at the moment.
Yeah, and how would you then compare that to our sort of fixtures with us? So obviously we got a point with Bolton, point with Ipswich, lost to Charlton, and then drew with MK Dons. How would you then assess that period for Lincoln, considering you've had a calamity with your own?
You're a funny side, aren't you? You're a bit like Shrewsbury, where I can't work out how you do what you do. You're just in that position in the table, really. I mean, the home form thing is bizarre. How you can be the 16th best home record, but not have been beaten there yet.
Yeah,
it is strange, Lincoln.
Yeah. So,
It's basically my conclusion on it. So an
I,
external one. Lincoln are just like Shrewsbury, where I just see the result and I think, I don't know how that's happened, but I'm just accepting it has.
yeah,
Fair enough.
yeah, I would agree. And as someone who's covered League One for a while, I'm curious to get your thoughts on Mide Shadipo. Obviously, we've had him in the building maybe a couple of days now. We only saw him at MK Dons, but from what I can tell, a good spell at Oxford, a less such good spell at Wednesday. Would that be fair?
Yeah, my co-host James would be the right person to ask about that. Yeah, my opinion of Shadipo is that I think he caught the eye probably more at Oxford, yeah, than he did at Wednesday. He does seem to be what you want from a winger. Maybe that turn of pace is what could be quite a valuable asset to him. I like to think it'd be a good alternative to Jack Diamond on the opposite side. So I think because you looked at Lincoln previously and felt that the real wide threat is Jack Diamond, the potential to maybe have him and Shadipo out there could be quite a problem, especially to a backline that sits on halfway.
Yeah. I'd love to see your face, Ed, if that does transpire.
I'm remembering the 5-1 from the COVID season. When again,
Yeah,
I remember saying to you actually at the time, I don't want to come up against the pace of that back line, that front line at Lincoln, actually, when you guys were in even better mood than you are right now.
Yeah.
And it's taking me back again.
Yeah, well, there'll be no Brennan Johnson to score past you this time. You'll be grateful to know. Scoring goals in the Premier League.
I remember it's Harry Anderson actually in that game who tore us apart. I remember. He was sensational that game. Really good.
Great player. Right, Ed, I'm going to get your score prediction now for Saturday.
Well, we can't get more than the point, can we? Because you don't lose. So
what you're going to be positive, surely, at least.
I want to be. I don't know if I'm allowed. I don't know if the gods will allow me to be. That's up to whether the football gods will let me be that. Your worry is you kind of. It's a bit frustrating because I'm getting a little bit annoyed with sections of the Burton fan base who are incredibly reactive. I think after the Forest Green win at the end of 2022, it was still a positivity all the way around. Yeah. Two, admittedly, very bad defeats, but two bad defeats. We're still mathematically within chance of getting out. No one in the bottom four is completely out of the race at all yet. So a win at Central Bank on Saturday could get them out of there. But all of a sudden, people seem to have really turned on the whole team and the whole management and the staff just because of two defeats. And it's not really right to me. I don't like living game by game. So I want to have a bit of positivity that we can come and get something from this. But as I say, you don't lose. So the best we're getting is a draw. And the problem I've got, as I mentioned to you previously, Sam Hughes gets a goal in this game, doesn't he? Because he got one last season at Sincil Bank and he got one in the 3-0 and he's not going to play in this game, bar an absolute miracle. So we're going to find someone else to hit the net instead.
So, and also obviously plug your D3D4. If the viewers don't know about D3D4, they've clearly been living under a rock.
It's nice of you to say that. Yeah, we provide coverage to both League One and League Two. We do that every week, so we record every Sunday. Not sure if we're going to have one this weekend because of availability, sadly. So might not unfortunately get to hear about the Lincoln Burton game on that occasion. But we record every Sunday. They're normally released around Sunday evening. A chance to go in depth on both League One and League Two, so you hear all about the absolutely ridiculous League One promotion battle, the League One relegation battle, and the League Two playoff battle, which for those who are observing it will know is 7 points between 4th and 15th at the moment. Incredibly open division down there, and a lot.
As long as it's not Grimsby, then I think we'll
just out of it.
Yeah, but right answer, Ed. Well, thank you for coming on again, mate.
Pleasure as always.
Massive thanks to Ed for coming back on the preview show. That does bring this episode to a conclusion, though. So if you could like, comment and subscribe to the channel, as we are trying to reach 1,000 subscribers here on the channel, that would be massively appreciated. So until we see you on Sunday, up the Imps.